learning Angular. We're learning this thing, man. You can't stop us. Learning them Angulars. Okay, so where are we at? Let's see. We got our my app. No, not code slash. Okay, code dot. There we go. And then ng something or other. Serve open. Serve open. Anything? Hello? Are you executing? Alright, I know. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It's hilarious every time. Okay. My first Angular app, yay. It's completely Angular. Not even round a little bit. There we go. Now I'll turn on this. So you can see the thing as we're doing the thing and stuff. Okay. This to 50%. Squash it over there so we get more space over here. Okay, so let's review what we know. So in the browser right now, we've got all this jazz, all this stuff over here. So let's see this image here. This image, it's got ng content co, whatever that is. But it's all from inside the app root node. Yeah, so all this is the contents of that thing. So let's check that out now. Just size this. There you go. So you can change this stuff. Save and padoom. So this thing here goes into the template here. So this thing here is this thing here. So I guess whatever are the properties or the members, I guess, of this class instance can be used in your templates. So, okay, we've learned a thing. That's useful. Okay, I'm sure there's other mustachy stuff that we can do in these templates, but that's what we know so far. All right, now let's open back up this thing here. I think this is where we were at. Oh yeah, Tour of Heroes. Oh yeah, I downloaded that. Okay. So let me just open up the Tour of Heroes. Where's my downloads folder? Okay, downloads. Tour of Heroes. Open with code. Okay, here we go. Here's a Tour of Heroes. And okay. Alright, yeah, I had trouble figuring out what router outlet was all about, and then I gave up because I could not figure it out. There we go. And then router link, I still don't know what that's from. And some kind of template here. Okay, app modules. Alright, yeah, so we've learned another thing here, our dependency injection stuff. So let's go to the Tour of Heroes tutorial covers the fundamentals of Angular. In this tutorial, we'll build an app that helps a staffing agency manage its stable of heroes. This basic app has many of the features you expect to find in a data-driven application. It requires and displays a list of heroes Edit selected hero's detail and navigates among different views of heroic data. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to do the following. Use built-in Angular directives to show and hide elements and display lists of hero data. Create Angular components to display hero details and show an array of heroes. Use one-way data binding for read-only data. Okay. Add editable fields to update a model with two-way data binding. Neat. Bind component methods to user events like keystrokes and clicks. Hip. Enable users to select a hero from a master list and edit that hero in the details view. Format data with pipes. I don't know what that means. Create a shared service to assemble the heroes. Use routing to navigate among different views and their components. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. You'll learn enough Angular to get started and gain confidence that Angular can do whatever you need it to do. After completing all tutorial steps, the final app will look like this. Live example, download example. What you'll build, all this stuff. Okay. Yada, 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 describing how it works. Yeah, okay. Alright, now what? Is there like a next button anywhere? No? Ah, I guess I just need to use the sidebar. That's some questionable user experience, but whatever. Okay, so we're going to create this from scratch. Neat. Alright, so let's go back to our this thing. Quit out of this. Control C. That works. Okay. Font size might not be big enough. Okay, ng new Angular tour of heroes. I'm just going to use my existing my app. Okay, so I'm going to go and open this thing now. I'm going to serve it from here. So ng serve, not server. Okay. Now it's back. Still my app. Okay. Now let's go back to the tutorial. That's one better than a tutorial. Hilarious jokes. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Ba-ba-da-ba. Angular components. The page you see is the application shell. The shell is controlled by an Angular component named app component. Components are the fundamental building block of Angular applications. They display data on the screen, listen for user input, and take action based on that input. Yeah. Change the application title. Open the project in your favorite editor, or you can navigate to the circ app folder. I'm going to do that now while we wait. Okay, circ app. Alright, circ app. Boom. Alright. You'll find the implementation of the shell app component distributed over 3 files. App.component. Okay, so we got, let me just close everything. Okay, app.component.ts. Yes, got it. The component class code written in TypeScript. I really like TypeScript. Okay, app.component.html. The component template written in HTML. Okay, boom. Template. App.component.css. The component's private. Private CSS. It is blank, as it should be. Open the component class file and change the value of the title property to Tour of Heroes. I'm going to do that because you told me to. I'm going to resize this so I can actually see it. Tour of Heroes. Yes. Okay. Open the component, template, and delete. Okay, and make the template be this. Done. Okay. The double curly braces are Angular's interpolation binding syntax. This interpolation binding presents the component's title property value inside the HTML header tag. The browser refreshes and displays the new application title. Bum, bum, bum. Add application styles. Yeah, I know how CSS works. I'm gonna just breeze through this part. Okay, CSS. Final code review. Yeah, okay, we did this already. Okay, summary. You can blah blah blah. Who cares? Next. Alright. ng generate component heroes. This is a new concept for me. I'm gonna look and see what this is. Okay, the application now has a basic title. Now you will create a new component to display hero information. Place that component in the application shell. Create the heroes component. Using the Angular CLI, generate a new component named heroes. ng generate component heroes. Yes. I'm gonna do that in PowerShell, because why not? It should work, right? What could possibly go wrong? And it worked. Neat. Okay, now I have a new component. The CLI created a new folder, circ app heroes, and generates the 3 files of the heroes component. Let's check this out. In the real world. Okay, heroes component, heroes.component .spec. Now this is some interesting stuff here. Now heroes.component. Now we got it. Okay, I'm gonna close all this and then open heroes component. Okay, so heroes component lives in a file heroes.component.ts. This is important information to know. This is important for me to remember. Remember this, brain. If I'm looking for heroes component, look for heroes.component. Got it. All right. Okay, and its selector is app-heroes. And what that means is that if I include let's see, I'm gonna get ahead of the documentation now and just trying to figure out some stuff on my own. Okay, so heroes component, I'm assuming that if I do one of these, I get one of these, and then I'm gonna put 4 heroes components there. Then I hit save, and then heroes works. Yay! Okay, so I get 4 of these guys, and inside it says heroes works in a P. So can't control click these things. So when I'm looking at a template, if I want to see the implementation of this, I just have to, I guess, search for that, find something that has a selector that does that, and then boom, here we go. And then if I want to go to the template from that thing, then I have to, I guess I could use this new drop-down dealie here. What was this? Heroes.component.html. Okay. HTML. Yay! Okay, now if I want to go to CSS and CSS. Yay! Alright. Neat. Alright, we've learned things. Now let's go read more documentation. Yawn. Yes. Okay. You always import the component symbol from the Angular core library and annotate the component class with @component. Oh, there's a link. Let's see what this does. Ooh, @component. It's a decorator. Decorator that marks a class as an Angular component and provides configuration metadata that determines how the component should be processed, instantiated, and used at runtime. I need to learn more about decorators. That's more JS Decorators. Oh wait, you can't see my screen. DERP. Hello. There we go. I'm sorry, my potential viewers. Anyway. Okay, JavaScript decorators. Exploring. ECMAScript decorators. Yada yada yada, blah blah blah. My decorators, yada yada yada. Okay, cat meow meow. A decorator is just an expression that will be evaluated and has to return a function. This is why @readOnly and @something parameter can both work. I see. Now, before instantiating the descriptor into cat.prototype, the engine first invokes the decorator. Neat. Okay. The decorator has the same signature as object.define property and has an opportunity to intercede before the relevant define property actually occurs. Okay. Neat. Alright, so you can do bee's knees, right? Yes. Totally is. We're going to look at decorating classes rather than just properties in a minute. Let's just skip down to that instead. Okay. Decorating a class. Next, let's look at decorating classes. In this case, per the proposed specification, a decorator takes the target constructor for a fictional My Superhero class. We can define a simple decorator for it as follows using an at superhero decoration. So decorative function superhero target. Target dot is superhero equals true. Target dot power equal blanks. All right. So target is the class or is the instance? It's the class. Okay. This can be expanded further, enabling us to supply arguments for defining our decorator function as a factory. Okay. Superhero is superhero. Okay, so neat. Okay, so that's what's going on with this. Got it. So when you call a decorator, it calls a function that returns the thing. Okay, so when you call it, all right, so at superhero normally calls a function by that name and passes in the thing below it, and then returns the result as that thing. So, yeah. So let me, I guess, figure out how to, let's see, about blank. No, okay. Yes. All right, so let's try this stuff. I've never used decorators before. Let's just decorate everything. All right, console. Okay, so class lulls. Boom. We got a class. Lulls. Okay, lulls class. Yay, I got a class. Okay. So let's say function lulls takes a thing, it console dot logs that thing, and then return thing. Okay. Alright, I messed up. How do I code again? Functoin. Functoin. F-U-N-C-T-I-O-N. There we go now. Now can I at lulls stuff in the browser? Does that do things? Class. Blah, blah. Haha. Unsuccessful. Alright, can I do, can I use decorators? Aha, let's just try the type script playground. TypeScript playground. Okay. Now let's try this. Okay. Now we'll do a at lulls. Aha. Now we're talking. I'm gonna learn me some decorators. Okay, decorate. Oh my. I'm getting bored. Okay, decorate. So I'm decorating something with lulls. Okay, greeter equals decorate with lulls, given greeter. So got it. So we're making a class. Making ourselves a class. And first it's passing through lulls. Okay, so decorate. Decorate with decorators. The target. D is the decorator. So D is my lulls. So, oh good grief. Okay. C is, let's see. Arguments dot length. I suspected as much. Lulls 23. What does that do? It calls 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's like okay, so basically whatever you put after the at is stuck in here exactly as is. Got it. So the results of calling lulls. Anyway, so this, whatever this is, and we do like, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. Run it, see what happens. Aha, neat. Why don't we need this? Run. Okay. Alright, so I guess you cannot decorate strings. Let me equals eat semicolon. Unnecessary semicolons are things that you should do never. I'm kidding. Alright, so that doesn't work. Good to know. But we have a bunch of spaces above my greeter. Run. Still works. Okay. Alright, so let's do this. Okay. I got it. Neat. Okay. Yada yada. Decorator next ends. Blah 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 blah. Okay, you can decorate stuff multiple times. Yada yada. Okay. Okay, boring. Now that I know. Anyway, okay, so we got our decorator. Now we know what a decorator is. Decorator that marks a class as an Angular component and provides configuration metadata that determines how the component should be processed, instantiated, and used at runtime. Alright. So, let's go back to our code. So, at component. Now I know what the heck is going on. So, at component is a function that takes this mess and then returns a function that takes a class and then does stuff to that thing. What stuff does it do to that thing? I don't know. But I want to find out. So let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna do component. Let's see. All right. So let's say props. I don't know. Console.log. Oops. Yo. Okay, now we're talking. So now I'm gonna like set a debugger on this thing. Now let's see inside of the machine. Okay, so how's all this stuff work? Not sure why I care, but I do. I have to know how. What on earth is happening? Okay, so all right, I can do this. So much code. All right, lay out the code nicely. Is there any way to like wrap to a new line? Okay. No, nothing. Anybody? Wheeler, etc. Okay. Okay, so let's start here. Let's just walk back from the top. Okay, so we got ourselves our decorate. We now know what on earth is happening here because we just looked at all the TypeScript malarkey. And I say malarkey in the nicest terms. It's just a term of endearment, let's say. If it means something bad, trust me that I didn't know that and don't judge me. Okay, anyway. So, Object, Angular Core Webpack imported module 0 component. So let's, so how we got here is not super relevant, I guess. I mean, we're just loading everything up, and this is just running, this is just deep inside of the Webpack nonsense. Okay. And I just mean nonsense, whatever. Okay, now we'll dive into the deep innards of how this thing works. Step into the next function. Control semicolon. I'm gonna use this a bunch, I bet. Okay. Now. Huh? Nah? What did you say? Okay. I'll just hit control semicolon some more until something happens. Aha! Okay, so we got this thing, which is this, it's the actual call to the decorator. It's Let's wrap it around my component. I want to know what magic it's doing. Decorator factory. This is not helpful. Okay. So much of the things. Okay. Alright, let's see. Decorator factory. Okay, now, decorator factory. Aha, this is interesting. Alright, so I'm going to hit control semicolon some more until something interesting happens. Okay, annotation instance equals decorator factor binary blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay, I gotta figure out how to get back out. Okay, that's control shift semicolon, control shift semicolon. Now we got two decorator factories stacked up now. Does this one have a name? Props? No? Nothing? R? Okay, so... Okay, so this is the thing that actually took... Ah, the template's already been figured out. So it grabbed the template and stuck it in here. That's interesting. So we could just pass in the template as a template property instead of doing a template URL. We could do oh, styles is the same deal. So it's loading all this stuff. What is this at compile time or runtime? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Well, whatever. We've learned a thing. Okay, and aha. Make metadata constructor. Okay, so this is the thing that makes the actual decorator. So what is happening here? Oh, this is the thing that actually makes the actual decorator. This is actually running the real decorator. Okay, so oh yeah, so we've got the arguments. This is all the stuff. Still, all right. Make decorator component. Change detection. Change detection strategy default. Okay. Oh, some cool stuff about animations. Neat. Very neat. Okay. Pulling out preserving white space of your template. So basically the component decorator is just alright, there's directive. Directive decorator is alright, well, whatever. Okay. Aha, here we go. Now it's actually happening. Okay, so here's our configuration. So it's basically adding this thing to our configuration. Okay. Now, prop name in values. Now it's gonna iterate over. Aha, so basically it just added change direction 1. Now let's continue going for it. Now, change direction to values. So this. Whatever this is, it's adding stuff to this. Okay, so just setting all those properties directly on the thing. So what we've seen so far, the component decorator is adding change something something, change something or other. yeah, change detection 1, whatever the magic value of that was, the enum value, to the these props. Something is also like grabbing the template and the style and sticking the actual contents of this stuff in here ahead of time. That's neat. Instead of the URLs to these things, it's actually sticking creating the template. So we got the template and the styles. So let me try, I'll add some actual styles next and see what happens in here. See if that's CSS or if it's like, I don't think it really matters. Okay, so that's what happened in that. Okay. All right. So now let's see what heroes component actually is. Okay, that doesn't exist yet. Okay. Here's component dot prototype. Okay, it's got a new ng on init thing. I don't know where that came from. Constructor. Okay. I don't know where this came from. So somehow the at component decorator gives your class an ng on init thing on the prototype. All right. Okay. Show function definition. Okay. Oh wait, it's right there. No, it didn't add that. It was there already. DERP. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay. Yeah, implements on init. There it is. Never mind, people. Derp. Okay, so all the component decorator seems to have done is just add all this stuff to. Let me just find out. Here's component dot template. Nope. All right. So where'd all that stuff go? It added it onto something. What was the this that it added on it on? That it added it onto. That it added it onto. It's fun to say. Okay. So CSS in here. What's the trick to that? What selectors do I use in here? Okay. Let's just try star. Okay, outline 1 pixel dotted aqua. And just hit play. Alright, so now let's see, where is this style coming from? Okay, aha, component 1. So it has changed the contents of the style and added this to each selector so that it only targets that specific selector. And it added it as a style tag. Maybe it does something different in production, I don't know. Okay, so it changes every single selector like that, as you see. See? See what it does? It does that. See? See? Adds that thing. Adds that to that, and adds that to that. See? That's how the thing works. Okay. Got it. Whoa. Too much font. Alright, that's neat. We've learned a thing. Now let's learn more things about stuff that do things. Alright, still have another half an hour or so. Let me set a timer. Okay, so set a timer. I'm gonna give myself, okay, 25 more minutes. Ish. Can you see it there? Oh yeah, this thing is annoying. Sorry. There we go. That's in my way now. Okay, good enough. Alright, so let's do this some more. This is fun, I guess. Alright, so let's do it. Okay, so so our styles, so it's just it's just CSS in a string. Got it. Nothing weird going on. Unless you call that weird, and then weird. Nothing but weird. Okay, so it figures out the styles and the template. I don't know where that comes from, it just does it. Probably the compiler. And then so how would you set like breakpoints in your template? Is that even a thing you can do? Probably not, or maybe. Let's see what happens when we do a thing. Let's see. Let's say lulls equals 1, 2, 3. Save. Okay, now pull out the lulls. Oh yeah. And then in the template, I'm gonna use the lulls. Alright, that should work, right? Aha! We know a thing. We know how to do a thing, a super basic thing. It was from the hello world. Anyway. So, okay, right. The point of this is to figure out what it does to the template. Okay, the template. It's still just, it's exactly, okay, it doesn't do anything weird to it. It's just the code from the thing, as is. There's probably some kind of wacky jazz you can do in there that does different stuff. Maybe, maybe, no, yes, no, I don't know, whatever. Okay. Let's just hit save again. I mean, alright, so now let's walk into this again. So, it's gotta do something else. How does this... Oh yeah, okay, so how does the heroes component get instantiated in the first place? It's here. So let's give it a 1, 2, 3, 4. And then an A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so I'm assuming this is how you instantiate the heroes component. Now I need to add something into the actual constructor so I can breakpoint on this. Okay. This got called 4 times with what? So we got some arguments. No arguments. Okay. And it was called through all of this. All of this. I gotta say, async breakpoints, so good. You can see all the way back to your stuff. I like it a lot. Okay, so create class, create directive instance. Interesting. Aha, so they can, when it's creating a class, it does so with the view, which is the parent. And, yeah, so here's the component. Came into existence because this guy wanted it to, because of the template. Nodes. Aha, render element app heroes. Aha, so that's like an actual element in the node, in the DOM. Okay, so it adds the node to the DOM first, then it calls constructor with that node that is already in the DOM. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. So deep inside, however this thing works. I know. I'll put some console dot whatever you call them. Group. So app, component thing, and constructor. Constructor. Console dot log. Okay, so that when that gets constructified, it's just a node with nothing in it. So I got 20 minutes. 20 minutes to learn all of Angular, starting with just random implementation details. Yes, because that's just how I like to roll. No, actually, this is an important point. It's important to find some ground, to ground your learning in something you already know. You want to build upon your existing knowledge. You don't just want to be like derp, derp, derp. I followed the tutorial. I have no idea what it is I learned, but, you know, I've written JavaScript frameworks and stuff. I've, you know, seen all the gory details and the innards and stuff. I'm perfectly comfortable with all that jazz. I've seen a few different ways of how you can do these things, and you know, so it's good for me to see that. Hey, I'll be with you in 20 minutes.
Okay, I'll just put this down.
All right, cool. See ya.
Can I stamp the time on my hand? Because I can't read.
I'll talk to you in 20 minutes. And say hello to the internet.
Hello, internet.
Yeah.
I got you stamps.
All right, cool.
So you can stamp my hand if I'm already, that's not time or late.
I like it. Okay, so let's sum up. So we've learned about decorators. It's a new JavaScript thing. It's basically a function. It's a new way to run a function, basically. So basically it runs whatever is below it through that function and then sets that thing to the results of whatever comes out of that function. And when it has the round bracket on it like that, it's a function that takes all this, executes that, and then returns a function that does all that stuff. So, fine. Okay. So now, what it's doing, somehow, some way, I still don't know how it actually works. Actually, let me find this. Let me search for app component. It's got to be in the module somewhere. Ah, bootstrap. Haha, I knew it. Okay, so the bootstrap. So ng module, I don't know how this works, but it's another decorator that does a thing. Decorates this module. And then it bootstraps this component, so I guess this is the first component that it runs. Let's try bootstrapping this component instead. See what happens. Oh yeah, it doesn't work because we don't have any of those on the page. Got it. Let's try putting one of these on the page and see if we can get it to work. Testing theories. So this is how I learn. You can learn in your own way. If you learn in a different way than this, then, you know, good for you. Oh yeah, the index. Index.hutml. There we go. Aha, boom. So there we go. So the that's how you get stuff working. So the index.html is your root template. This is where it's going to look for stuff. So in your app module, your root module, I still don't know how this gets called, but, you know, let's start somewhere. So blah, 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 blah. Somehow the thing in Bootstrap gets called. You could probably have more than one because it's an array. App component, and then comma, heroes component. So you can have two roots. Cool. Yep, that works. I guess. All right, elements. Oh, this did not work. Or did this not work? Huh. Anything in here? Any clue why that's not working? Anybody? No? Alright, let's try running heroes component first. Aha! Huh. So, why does it work that way and not that way? Huh. But we learned an interesting thing. Confusing! I'm sure if I read the documentation it would make sense. Anyway. This is what I'm looking at over here. Make this 100. There we go. That was interesting. So if you just have app component, it works, you know, only app component works. App root, rather. And this thing does nothing. It just ignores it. Got it. As it should. That's like what it should do. Now if you put just heroes component, does the same thing. App root does nothing. Heroes, that works. But now, what if you have both app component and then heroes component? That one works, but that one doesn't work? Okay. Now if I bootstrap it thusly, with heroes component first and app component second, then they both work. Why? I don't know. Whatever, but it's a thing we know now. Because, see? Right, okay. So we don't need that. We don't need that. See, I'm getting better at Angular already. I'm getting an intuition of where to go to change stuff and things. Got it. Okay. So that generate thing probably added it to the declarations and then imported it and all that other jazz. Let's see. Oops. Not used to this keyword yet. Okay. So it imported it as a declaration, whatever that is. Oh, let's find out. A set of component directives and pipes, declarables, that belong to this module. Usage notes. The set of selectors that are available to a template include those declared here, and those that are exported from imported ng modules. Declarables must belong to exactly one module. The compiler emits an error if you try to declare the same class in more than one module. Be careful not to declare a class that is imported from another module. Okay. The following example allows the common module to use the ng and it's gone. Okay. The ng4 directive. Still only 449. Alright. Okay, so ng4, ng module ng4, the ng4 directive. Okay, so I think I'm getting this. So these things, let me look up what ng4 is. Aha. So the ng4 must have a selector, something like this. ng4, oh, director. Aha, here we go. Selector is ng4, ng4 of. Got it. So I get it. Angular is just taking all of its directives, let's say, from the DOM, from wacky custom attributes like this. I see. That's weird. That's similar to something that I did like 10 years ago. I totally thought that it was a brilliant idea at the time. So maybe it is a brilliant idea. Yeah, so I'll learn more about this later. But I'm getting the basic concept. So there's a selector, runs the selector in the DOM, does stuff with the results of that selector, like stuff like this. Okay. Neat. Got it. Okay, that's neat. Useful. So I need to learn more about modules, what all they can do. Okay, so declaration. So all the stuff that you want to be able to do, use, goes in there, I guess. Imports. A template can be exported A template can use exported declarables from any imported module, including those from modules that are imported directly and re-exported. For example, module A imports module B and also exports it, which makes the declarables from module B available wherever module A is imported. I see. Okay. Import browser module. Where's that? Okay. Configures a browser-based application to transition from a server-rendered app. If one is present on the page, the specified parameter must include an application ID which must match between the client and server applications. Okay. Oh, it's experimental. So why are we using it by default? That's all right. Okay. Providers. Okay. Providers. The set of injectable objects that are available in the injector of this module. Dependency injection guide. I should probably learn that. And got it. Dependency injection, yay. Okay, so I'll look that up later. Okay, bootstrap. The set of components that are bootstrapped when this module is bootstrapped. The components listed here are automatically added to entry components. Aha. It's entry components. Only got like 7 minutes. Okay. Hmm. Cool. Ah, I remember this. Okay. The set of components can compile when this ng module is defined so that they can be dynamically loaded into the view. For each component listed here, Angular creates a component factory and stores it in the component factory resolver. Angular automatically adds components to the module's bootstrap and route definitions into the entry components list. Use this option to add components that are bootstrapped using one of the imperative techniques, such as view, container, ref, create, component. Time's up. Okay. It was fun. Well, I still have 3 minutes, but time to wrap it up. So, what have we learned? We've learned that this is the bootstrap thing is confusing and does weird things, and we need to learn more about that. Hold on, I'm wrapping it up. I'll be with you in 2 minutes. So we've learned that, let's see, that, yeah, so the this attribute here is for the attaching the style. Got it, so you can get the style working. That, let's see, that the node, the actual node is inserted into the DOM before it calls the constructor. It's good to know. Yes. That besides doing magical things in the module file to get things working, you just add stuff to your template and it just works, assuming that your module magic is set up properly. Your dependency injection is not totally screwed up, which is probably 80% of my time spent trying to debug module errors. That was hyperbole. Yeah, I haven't learned much else. But oh yeah, template URLs and style URLs, those things, those files are read and injected into template and styles as strings instead of doing any of this at runtime. So that's interesting. So you can hard code this if you want to reduce the number of files, which you shouldn't do because then you have HTML inside of your JavaScript, which is the worst ever. Unless it's JSX, and then it's the best ever. I wonder if you could use JSX in Angular. That would probably annoy some people. Okay. Anyway, so random properties here are available in your templates as thingamajigs. I still don't know what happens with these attributes or how to get access to those from inside of your codes, but I'm sure the tutorial is going to teach me that any second. And, well, time's up, so see ya.